Alright, welcome to the final third video of this little game. This one's been fun. Okay, and this part's the best one by far. So we have this right now. We can run around, point, well, we can get close to the one we want to shoot. Whoever we're closest to, that's who we're going to fire at. So we need to make them move. We need to do some health bars. We need to have them shoot at us, turn this into a full game. So we're going to get them moving very first. So the way that I want to get moving is just like we were shooting, and I'm looking for this code. Where are you? Where did I put it? There it is. So if you notice, every half second, it calls the shoot function and something happens. We're going to do that exact same thing, except we're going to go enemy movement, and let's call a function called, we haven't made this function yet, so we'll call it enemy move. I don't know why I keep using the word enemy, because you don't say it very well. Enemy movement, and we're going to pass in the player, so we're going to do some random numbering based on where the player is located and stuff like that. So we're calling this function every half second, and now we need to make this function. So let's come down here and create this function. So function enemy movement, we need to receive the player object. We'll just call it player, make it easy to remember. Okay, so here we go. So very first, we want different speeds to happen, all sorts of stuff. Let's just make a random number, math.random. Math.random generates a number between 0 and 3. Well, math.random generates a number between 0 and 1, a long decimal number. We're going to times that by 3, and then we're going to round it. So we could get from 0 all the way to 3. So let's make a for loop. I'm going to do for j. For some reason I want to use j. For j in enemies. Okay, so now we're looping through all the enemies, and we're going to put some logic in here to make them move. And we won't make them completely synchronized. Okay, so if math.random is greater than 0.5, then we want this to happen. We want enemies j to be push, we'll go push right, and we'll just push them right by man. Okay. Else enemies j dot push left rand. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Let's see if that gets us very far. So now every half second they're getting pushed by a random number. I don't like them going into these trees, and they can only be left and right now. Okay, let's go up to our on hits. Player is stopped by. Let's make this, can't decide if we want them to be stopped by or bounced off. We'll just make them stop by. So let's save, let's refresh. Now they're stopped by the trees. They can't go past the trees if he ever gets there. We have to randomly wait for him to go left. There we go, so they're moving left and right just fine. Let's move them, let's make them move up and down, but we're gonna do it a little bit different. What we wanna do is we're gonna find, if our guy gets close to him, we're gonna make that one move up and down, and the other, otherwise they'll just shift left and right. So let's go with the absolute value of enemies j.y minus the player.y. And if that number is less than 250, then we're going to basically run this same thing. Then we're going to generate a random number. We're going to push up, or we're going to push down, and let's do it by, we can try rand. Let's see what rand looks like. Okay, so now if I get close to them somewhat, they're going to move up and down. I want them to kind of jump a little bit. Let's, instead of rand, let's make this, let's go like, I'm going to call it jump. I don't know why I'm going to call it jump. We're going to do, so it has a base of 2, but it could get all the way up to 6. Okay, so that was jump, right? So let's come down here. Instead of rand, we're going to go jump. Let's save and refresh. Now let's see what it looks like. There we go. So now we gotta avoid them. Now we gotta avoid them. Cool. Okay, and if we went up here, do I want to do any on hits right now? Nope. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so that is enemy movements. We got the enemies moving, and they look somewhat decent. Let's tab these over so everything's lined up. And this, let's see, this is the end function enemy movements. So I can remember that because we got our enemy movement function here. This is the end of the for loop. And let's do some shooting now. Let's make the enemy, I want to show you guys what a case switch is. So you've seen if statements, if else statements, and they get lots of brackets. Let's use a case switch on this. What I want to do is I want to make them do a spread attack. And they're going to have these, and we'll see, we're going to make a spread attack. So the way I wanted to do that is I wanted to go if math.random. So remember, this gets called every half second. If we generate a random number above 0.75, so 25% chance of this happening. If that happens, then let's go ahead and make them shoot. Sorry, I'm talking and trying to type at the same time. What I want to do is I want to loop through, and we don't know how many enemies there's going to be, but let's loop through them all. We're going to go times enemies dot length. Okay, so this loops through all of the enemies. Let's make a for loop now. For var k is equal to 0. I'm going to do it this way because I want this for loop to count. As long as k is less than 8, so it's going to generate 9 different iterations, k++. We want to make something called a poison. Let's see, new sgs.images.image, and then we have images. I have this evil poison attack. Oh man, our guy is in trouble. You better get good at this game, because otherwise you're gonna get poisoned. Type equals poison. Doesn't sound so bad when it's digital, does it? Getting poisoned. It would sound bad if it was real life. Okay, let's set the size. I just need to type and not talk as much. 25, 25, you know all these properties. Poison.friction equals 0. Poison.nobounds equals true. And then poison.move to, and we're going to move it to, enemies, and we're going to move it to the rand enemy. So whichever enemy it picks, not all of them are going to shoot, just one of them. And then enemies, rand enemy dot y. Okay, so we're going to randomly select an enemy, randomly generate a number that is within our enemies array. Since we do floor, it can be from 0 to the last element in the array. Floor always makes you round down. You can never round up, which allows us to get 0, but it doesn't allow us to get, like, if there's 3 enemies, it wouldn't allow us to get the number 3, only number 2, which is good for arrays because arrays have index numbers 0, 1, and 2. So floor works perfect when you're dealing with arrays. Okay, so we're going to move it to whichever lucky one got picked. And what we're going to do now is inside this for loop, we're going to make a switch case. And we want to switch how many times, what condition, as long as k is still alive. And then we want to go case 0. So a switch case is like a big long if-else statement. But rather than having to type out all the if-else, 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 we just do all these cases. So for case 0, we're going to do poison.push left. We're going to push it by 8. And then we're going to exit. Okay, so what we're doing is we're creating all these case scenarios for each of the different poison balls, so it will start at the middle of the enemy and spread out. So now let's go case 1. We're going to go poison.push up. So we got to do all directions. So now that I've done that twice, what I want to do is just go, I want to keep my tabs though. We just need to copy that a few times. So we got left, up, let's get down and right. Push right. Okay, so this is case 2 and 3. So now for 4, we need to push up and let's push left. Okay, so now for case 5, that means for case 5, we need to push up and right. Okay, you'll see how this works. Hopefully it's a good payoff and you actually enjoy what it does. Okay, for case 6, we need to push down and right, and then for case 7, which I think 7 would be our last case. Yes, we need to push down and left. Okay, so now that we got all this stuff, this is going to shoot some poison. So remember, our for loop starts at 0 and stops when k is less than 8. When k gets to 8, 8 is not less than 8, that's why it quits. So we only have cases 0 through 7. So let's go ahead and open up our browser and let's see if these guys will shoot at us. There's a 25% chance every half second they're going to shoot. Oh, there we go. There's one right there. They shot. Okay, we don't have any errors. They shot, but the friction for some reason didn't work. I thought I had, oh, I spelled it wrong. You guys were probably yelling at me. Okay, so there's friction. And then we need to destroy, let's see, where are my on hits? Okay, so let's grab this on hit and go like this. So, oh, I can just go like this. It's going to be the exact same thing. Poison. There we go. Okay, now let's see how it looks. So now they can attack back at you. I'm trying to decide if 0.75 is enough. Sometimes it comes in waves, sometimes it doesn't. So there we go. So now they are shooting at us. Make it every 30%. So now they're shooting at us every half second. There's a 30% chance that one of them gets the call to fire some missiles, some poison balls. Okay, so there we go. Maybe I don't want it to be stopped by the wall. This works just fine. Poison can't go through the trees, nothing can. Okay, so our guys are moving, they're shooting. What I want to show you next is how we're going to do some lives. Let's display some lives here. And let's turn this into a real game here very shortly. Okay, so we have our player right here. We're going to create an object, and then we're going to stick it above the player's head and make it follow him. Okay, so here we have, let's say you want to give your player 4 lives. Okay, we're going to go var display health equals new sgs.image, and we're just going to leave it blank. Okay, now we're going to have to add a whole lot of, we only have to do it once, then we can copy and paste. That's what's nice about this. I guess I could put all this in an array as an object in an array and then apply it to them. You guys can work on that if you want. I'm going to do it linear so you can see exactly how the logic works. And that way, hopefully it'll make sense what's going on. And then you can play with making it more code efficient, but not taking so many lines. We're going to make a width of 40. We're going to make a height of 10. And we're going to have to do a lot of more things too. So we're going to need to make a background color. Because it's an image, that's the easiest way to create an object that we can manipulate. And so, but we have to give it a background color. Otherwise it says like broken image or add image or something like that. Okay, so there's our health.node.style. Oh man, I wanted it to look nice. Border radius of 3 pixels. Nice rounded edges with the border radius. Okay, so now here's where we get into the good code. So we have display health dot move to, which is easy, player dot x, and then we're gonna go player dot y minus 20. So that'll bring him to the corner, and then it will move it up a little bit. Then we need to go display health dot follow, and who do we want him to follow? We want him to follow the player. That is in our library, how the follow works. And then when the player dies, we also need his health to go away. So player health equals display health. So we give a little property set equal to this display health object so we can destroy it when the player gets killed. Okay, so if I were to save and refresh this, there we go. Now we got a little health bar going above him. And it follows him wherever he goes. What do we get to do now? We get to make it for all the other peeps, but we have a secret. We know what we're doing. Wait, why do I want friction? I don't want friction. There we go. So now let's find enemy 1. Okay, so enemy 1. Oh, we didn't give our enemies any friction. Let's give them some friction. 0.2. Okay, so now instead of player, this is going to be E1. And instead of help, display help, we'll do display E1 help. That looks so funny, but that is correct. Okay, so now we're going to do this. We're going to grab from friction down to help. We're going to go to E2, and everywhere where it says E1, we're going to go E2. Now, I don't think this is going to work. This worked for the player because he is a different size. Let's try this. I'm going to add 10 to that, and we're going to go 17. And then how many lives do we want these guys to have? Let's give this one 10. We'll just give them all 10 right now. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this friction all the way to the help, come down to number 3, paste it in, Control D in my Sublime text, and make this 3. Now, if we were to save and refresh, now they all have a little health bar above them that moves when they move. Oh, this is good stuff. Okay, all right, so they're shooting at us. We got some help. Now we need the on hits to work. Okay, so we already have the on hit where they can't go through this stuff. Let's work through the trees and the wall. Now let's make the on hit of the player. Let's see, player, if he were to hit the, man, I cannot type. If he were to hit the poison, or if he were to hit the enemy, okay? And that would cause us a function, x comma y, and now let's build this out. Okay, first off, if a poison hits the player, so if y.type is equal to poison, then we want y.destroy. We don't want to destroy if the enemy hits it, who is also y. So we'll just make this little if statement to do the other stuff. I want the x comma y. I think that has to be like that. No, I think it is capital. Okay, so there's our bounce off. So if we get hit, so this is the player gets hit by the poison or the enemy. He's going to lose a life. Okay? We named it lives, didn't we? Player.lives. Player.lives, plural. Yes. Okay, so he's going to lose a life. And when that happens, we need to do the display health.node.style. We got to take away from the width. But what we want to take away from is our lives times 10. Okay, so if you think he has 4 lives, the width is 40. So if he has 3 lives, we're going to make the width 30. Then 20, then 10, then off we go. Then if he has, if x.lives is equal, we would usually go less than or equal to 0, then we can destroy the player. Then the player gets destroyed. The player, what did we name that property? Not display health, player pH. Oh, whoops. Okay, so player.pH gets destroyed. So that way, the health bar wouldn't be there anyway because it's 0. But we don't want to shoot anymore. So clear interval. We don't want to shoot anymore. Oh, we didn't name it shoot. What did we name it? Oh, we did name it shoot. Nice. And then we want to clear the interval of, no, we did not name it shoot. Did we name that other interval EM? We got to go into our code. We don't want these intervals running anymore. So EM is going to be on blast. So we're going to clear these intervals. So the enemies aren't moving anymore. The guy's not shooting anymore. So we named this blast. And last, we would just need to go ahead. And so this all happens when we die. We can make a quick button real fast. Button equals new SGS dot button, and that button will say again. Would you like to play again? Then we'll run a function. So when you click on that button, let's see here. So when you click on this button, what's going to happen? We're going to make our window location. Window.location equals index.html. Basically reload the page. And then let's go button.center. Okay, so our player is the only one who can die. Let's make sure it works. So we run around, and we are expecting, if I run into somebody, oh, what happened? Why the error? Oh, we got hit. That worked. The poison hurt me. Look, our life's gone down. But not when I hit the enemy, and I know why now. I know why it did that. I gotta try and get hit by a bullet. Oh, I didn't make it in time. That bullet was behind the tree. Come on, hit me with the bullet, Mr. Walnut. What are the odds? Every half second. Oh man, I was talking. There we go. We died. So there we go. We hit again, and it restarts. Okay, so what happened was this, not enemies, enemy, their type is enemies. So now if I go and run into one, I get the same effect. Oh, I got turned into a big guy. So if we come here, yep, we're dead. Can't be running into them. Now, if you wanted that not to happen so fast, what you can do with these on-hit functions is you can go, we used to do these things called stages. We don't do stages anymore. But if you go 0, 0, this is a stage. I forget how much overlap there has to be before the on-hit actually happens. And then 500 would mean after 500 milliseconds, this on-hit would be ready to go. It basically pauses it for a half a second. So if you get hit, you got a half a second to get out of the way before you can get hit again. Okay, we are doing good. We need one more on-hit. This one's going to be a big one. So another big on-hit here. So this time it's between the enemies and the arrow. Create a function, x comma y, and let's do this. Okay, so when the enemies hit the arrow, very first thing, destroy the arrow. The arrow is what we shoot. If you come down in here, there's the arrow we made. Okay, so when the enemy collides with one of our bullets, we need them to lose a life. And then we need them, after that, we're going to have to go display what was this called? Display E1 health, node.style, lives, time. We're going to make them die a little bit slower. Copy this. We need 3 of these. And remember, this will only run, it knows which enemy is going to get hit. So it's not like you hit one and all 3 of them lose. Let's make the walnut a little bit stronger. You have to hit him a few more times. Okay, so now after that, let's go like this. So now we need to build this same if statement. If x.lives is less than or equal to 0, we need to destroy both of these. So we need to destroy our enemy. And what did we call their, oh, they're all pH, perfect. And then we need to destroy their dealio, what is that? And then destroy their health bar above them. Okay, so the next thing, this is the new code, remove from array. Remember, they're in that array, and the poison is based on how many enemies are in the array. So when we kill one, we want to remove him from the array. So we want to find the array enemies, and we want to go ahead and remove the X from it. I hope that doesn't matter that these are both named the same. We are going to find out here soon. Okay, after that, we're going to create another one, enemies.length. So this is if you've killed all the enemies. So if the length of our enemy's array is 0, then we clear the interval blast because we've won. This is what we're after. We're going to clear the interval EM. We don't want our player shooting anymore, even though I don't think there's anything to shoot. And then let's grab this button code, and we'll do the same thing. We'll make another button. So that would go right there. That closes that. I think we have it. Save this. Let's refresh. I think we have ourselves a game. Let's see what happens. Oh, I got pummeled. Oh yeah, I'm hammering this guy. Oh, I got hit again. I died. What in the world? I have to be more strategic. Oh, I'm getting away with a lot of hits. I got hit once. Come on, kill him. We got one dead. Oh, his health bar is supposed to die. This guy's health bar went up there. They're all dying at once. Where's his health bar? I died. Okay, something goofy happened. Let me see what happened. Ah, yes. Okay, so let me see. When we get hit, health.node, why were they sharing health bars? These are all E3s. These are all, oh, yeah, look at that. It was all equal to the same one. I didn't change this E1 in the health. Okay, last time, here we go. Saved it. I'm gonna try and beat my own game. Oh, I already got hit. Man, that diagonal poison is killing me. Okay, we got rid of one guy. We're gonna get rid of this guy. Now you could make some melee guys that attack you. You could give yourselves a sword. I can't see his health because he's inside of there. Not quite as smooth gameplay as Archero, but for the browser game and understand how these concepts work, I think this is great. Get him. We got him. We beat the game. Okay, so that is the code. If you want to download this code and customize it, if you want to play the game, it runs slow while I'm filming this. It runs a lot better than what it's showing right here. But if you want to run this game and play it, you can head on over to Simply Coding. Sorry it runs slow while I'm filming. You can go to these coding demos and boom, it's going to show up right here. Here is part 1 and part 2 of how we built most of the game. This was part 3, the final part, getting them to move. So this will be up and you'll be able to play it right there. Watch the other ones to figure out how we did it. If you want to do a full course, go ahead and try our 14-day trial. Learn all this from the very beginning, build your own stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. We like building these. I'm going to keep doing them. Okay, enjoy, subscribe to our YouTube channel, invite other kids to watch it. Hopefully it's enjoyable. All right, we'll see you guys.